5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start. Interim bail is a concept in the legal system that serves as a temporary form of relief granted to an individual who is seeking protection from arrest. It is given for a short period until a regular bail application is heard and decided by the court. The purpose of interim bail is to ensure that a person is not deprived of liberty while waiting for the judicial process to take its course. It acts as a bridge between the moment when a person applies for bail and the final decision on whether the bail will be granted or denied. This legal provision reflects the principle that every individual is presumed innocent until proven guilty and therefore deserves protection from unnecessary detention. The legal system of any country places a high value on personal liberty. The concept of bail itself is rooted in the idea that an individual should not be kept in custody merely because they are accused of committing an offense. At the same time, the law seeks to ensure that the accused person does not misuse the freedom granted to them and cooperates with the investigation and trial. Interim bail fits within this balance of interests. It allows the accused to remain free for a limited time while the court examines the facts and circumstances of the case before making a final decision regarding bail. Interim bail is generally sought when a person apprehends arrest but is unable to obtain a full hearing immediately. In such situations, the person may approach the court and request temporary protection until the main bail application can be decided. The court may consider granting interim bail if it finds that immediate custody is not necessary and that the applicant deserves provisional relief. The duration of interim bail is usually limited and depends on the discretion of the court. It continues to remain in force until the regular bail hearing takes place or until it is specifically cancelled by the court. The grant of interim bail is not an absolute right. It is a matter of judicial discretion. The court carefully examines the nature of the allegations, the seriousness of the offense, the background of the accused, and the likelihood of the accused cooperating with the investigation. The main objective of the court while granting interim bail is to protect individual liberty without compromising the interests of justice. If the court feels that the accused may abscond, tamper with evidence, or influence witnesses, it may refuse to grant even interim bail. The conditions attached to interim bail are similar to those imposed during regular bail. The person may be required to furnish a bond or provide sureties to guarantee their appearance before the court. They may also be directed not to leave the jurisdiction of the court without permission, not to contact witnesses, or not to engage in any act that could obstruct justice. Violation of these conditions can lead to cancellation of the interim bail and immediate arrest of the accused. The concept of interim bail serves a practical purpose in the functioning of the judiciary. It allows courts to prevent undue hardship to individuals when there is a delay in hearing a regular bail application. The legal process often takes time because the prosecution needs to present its arguments, and the court must study the case materials before making a final determination. During this interim period, it would be unjust to detain the person without giving them an opportunity to seek temporary relief. Thus, interim bail ensures that the principles of fairness and due process are maintained. Another important aspect of interim bail is that it demonstrates the flexibility of the legal system. The judiciary recognizes that every case is unique, and therefore it provides mechanisms to ensure that justice is not delayed or denied. The provision of interim bail prevents arbitrary deprivation of liberty and upholds the dignity of the individual. It reflects the broader constitutional principle that no one should be punished before being found guilty through a fair trial. Interim bail can be granted in both bailable and non-bailable offences. In bailable offences, the right to bail is granted by law, and therefore interim bail may not be necessary in most cases. However, in non-bailable offences, where bail is not a matter of right, interim bail assumes greater importance. It acts as a protective shield for those accused of serious offenses until the court has sufficient time to examine the facts. The granting of interim bail in such cases does not mean that the court has formed an opinion about the guilt or innocence of the accused. It is merely a temporary safeguard against arrest until the final decision is made. The cancellation of interim bail is also within the powers of the court. If new facts come to light, or if the accused violates any condition imposed by the court, the interim bail may be revoked. Once cancelled, the person may be taken into custody unless the court decides otherwise. There have been instances where the court has observed that interim bail should be granted only in exceptional circumstances. It is not to be used as a substitute for regular bail but as a temporary measure to prevent injustice. The power to grant interim bail must be exercised with caution, keeping in mind the gravity of the offense and the interest of the public. Courts also take into account whether the applicant has come to the court with clean hands, meaning that they have not concealed any material facts or misled the court in any manner. From a broader perspective, interim bail represents a vital link between individual rights and state authority. It embodies the idea that while the state has the power to investigate and prosecute offenses, it must do so without infringing upon the fundamental rights of citizens. The courts act as guardians of liberty by ensuring that this balance is maintained. Interim bail is one of the tools through which this judicial oversight is exercised. Stop.